Welcome to the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with the support you need to finish your book. Best part is, after you finish your book, they take care of the entire publishing and marketing process 100% for you. So, if you want to become a successful author, make sure to check out authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today I have Alan Hill with us. He's a blogger on economics and politics, and he provides bespoke content to several businesses in the foreign exchange space. So welcome to the show, man.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks very much for asking me.
Of course, man. Glad to have you here. Let's jump into the first one, Alan. The first question I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Okay, when I first entered the foreign exchange markets, I was mostly on the sales side of the business, but I went through the merger between Manufacturers Hanover Trust and Chemical Banking in the early 90s. And I was given the responsibility for trading Scandinavian currencies interbank, which I'd never done before. And I found it very, very difficult to actually get to grips with. And it was I had a conversation with one of my colleagues who basically told me to basically be myself and drive the market myself rather than be driven by the market. And I think that gave me a message that the market isn't the foreign exchange market itself isn't something that is something to be afraid of. You have to take the bull by the horns and get involved. And as soon as you're involved and you're pricing things and you are the market, then things start to become much clearer. And that was a very valuable message for me, and it gave me a real clue into how I've managed to manage my career going forward.
And what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Well, within the FX markets, I think there are two very distinct ways of trading, and that is using charts and technical analysis, and using fundamental analysis, which is economics, which is my branch of the business. And I think that a balance is the most important thing to understand. That neither one of those two sides of the business can be handled independently, and you need to look at both sides in order to be successful. 90-something% of retail traders lose money, and 90-something% of retail traders also only use one methodology for trading. So it makes sense to me that that balance is the most necessary thing that's required in order to be successful in those markets.
Mm. And what is your best piece of overall business advice? So not necessarily industry specific.
Well, for me, the most important thing, whether it's on in the markets or whatever, is actually knowing your customer, know what he wants from you. That for me applies to just about every piece, every market, every industry there is. Know what your customer wants and be able to deliver what he needs.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Be more patient, without a doubt. I was looking when I saw the questions you were going to ask me tonight. Patience was a thing that immediately sprang to mind. My career has been characterized by taking what I would consider to be the chance at the time, where if I'd sat back and looked at a few things in a more rational manner, I think I would have been maybe even more successful than I've been. I mean, I'm very happy with the career I've had, but if I'd sat and looked at more things from a patient perspective, I may have been more successful.
And kind of going a little bit of a different path, in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
Professionally and personally, it's very much certainly from a professional perspective, doing what you're good at. I'm coming up 63 years old. I'll be 63 next May. And I spent a lot of time in a career that I've enjoyed. I mean, I've enjoyed being around the markets and being around people who are around the markets and gaining an understanding of what people actually do within this business. But from my perspective, I've only just recently, in the last 2 or 3 years, found what I'm really good at. And what I'm good at is explaining the markets to people who want to be involved and working on their understanding. And that's something I'm good at and something I've really enjoyed doing. And once you understand what you're good at and you start getting involved in it, then that is the key to happiness, without a doubt.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
I read very few factual books. I read novels because I tend to get my information from the world around me. So I don't read a great deal of reference books, that kind of thing. And the book I've read, which I've most enjoyed, let's say, and that I've got the most out of, is a book called Noble House, which is written by an English author called James Clavell, who wrote a series of books regarding the Far East in the formative years of Hong Kong, etc. And he writes about a period in the early 60s in Hong Kong, and he taught me how to study every possible option when you're looking at getting involved in something. He's given the hero of the story, I should say, the protagonist, is given a whole series of options with regard to what he needs to do with the business when he takes it over, and how he actually understands what he needs to do is something that's given me a major part of my career and a major part of how I understand life.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
I'm a massive fan of Winston Churchill. I've read most of the things he wrote, and I've read a number of biographies of him. And so to find a quote that matches the question, really, I have to look at Winston Churchill. And the quote I chose is the quote during the Second World War, just when the Battle of Britain was ending, and when he said that this is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end. It is perhaps the end of the beginning. And that really brings to me the need for patience and perseverance in what you're trying to do, whether you are trying to bring a new business to market, or whether you're trying to understand how a market works, or if you are, trying to run a country. And that is very pertinent right now with regard to Brexit. And I think that really shows me what patience and perseverance are really all about.
Yes, man. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find you online?
The best place to find me online is LinkedIn, without a doubt. I mean, I have a website under my business, currency transfer. treasuryconsultancy.com. But the problem with that is I'm so busy with working with my clients that I very rarely get a chance to update that. So I would say, if you want to find me, look on LinkedIn.
Perfect, man. Thanks again for jumping on.
It's my pleasure.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.